live streamed episode of Black Metal and Brews, a program in which I listen to heavy metal records and drink beer, craft beer, usually, and I share my thoughts on them with you in the sense, in the hopes that we'll build something of a community. Today, I've got the Tyranny of Mirrors by Threes Brewing. A friend gave this to me as a gift, and I can't recall for the life of me if it was my friend Sammy or my friend Matt, but somebody did. Thank you very much. Today's record selection is going to be Aelter. We're going to listen to Aelter 4, Love Eternal. If you're not familiar with this, it is a phenomenal record. This is from when Pizanta Urfolk was still actually fulfilling their orders. Although I got this directly from the artist, I believe. Memory doesn't go so well. But you can see there's it's a very interesting package. This is the project of Blake from Wolf Serpent, and it is really, really beautiful. So we're gonna put that on and have ourselves a drink. I didn't realize how it would be, but it makes this a lot more fun than just talking to myself the whole darn time. There we go. So, hello. Good to have you here, Sanskar. Twice in a row. I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. I realize I've never said it out loud. So this is Aelter. In contrast to yesterday's just crushing, pummeling black metal, I thought you can already hear it, just kind of lots of big reverby guitars, very almost kind of Americana drone sort of thing going with this album. Very, very David Lynchian to my mind. Don't know if you'd agree or if Blake himself would agree, but had the honor of seeing these guys live twice. They're phenomenal. I think he's done with this project, but I selfishly hope he's not. That's some beautiful color there. So it looks a little different on the camera here, but there's almost kind of just like a light, almost like lemon juice kind of color to it. The good little head there. You know, it's thick but very liquid still. Oh, and it smells great too. Very, very fruity in the nose. It's a pale ale, so I'm not surprised. You got a good citrus fruit sort of nose. Yeah, that's really good. Not overwhelming in the hop department, which is nice. If you know me, you know I've kind of gotten burnt out on some of that over the top hop. And if you're new here, welcome. It's good to have you. And I hope you'll return. I know I will. I don't have a choice. So let's see if there's much info on the can. And it's local here in Brooklyn. I don't know. Not a lot. No info about the alcohol content or any of that. But that's okay. I think I'm drinking this a little past its prime, but it still tastes good. And that art is just really cool. I'm just going to let you take a look at that for a minute. I thought the kind of psychedelic nature of this record and the art on the beer would make for a good pairing. I'm always trying to draw a thread between the beer and the music in some way or another. Hello, the album is Aelter's 4, Love Eternal. And the art is really cool. It's kind of hard to see in this. The lighting, because you can kind of see there's almost kind of like a crown halo sort of thing here, but it's all very much based on the lighting. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is, again, it's really hard, especially because one of my ceiling lights is actually red light. This is Blake Green from Wolf Serpent. I believe on record it's solo. Having seen them live, I think there were 5 people in the band live, but this fella is brilliant and very kind as well. I know I shouldn't be touching my face when we've got a quarantine on and all that, but here I am, I keep touching my face. So you can hear just how spacious, how it feels almost religious or holy or reverent, I guess is probably the best word. These guys are from Idaho, which I think, anybody in the age of the internet, I realize that having a regional sound is less of a thing, but I do think that being from a more rural kind of out there area, you can hear some of that space. I'll say, living here in Brooklyn, I don't think we'd have a band like this come from here. Prove me wrong. So, I know I don't have a whole lot of folks tuned in, and that's fine. I'm not a big celebrity. I'm just kind of doing this for fun to connect with you guys. But, what have you been drinking or listening to lately? Feel free to share in the comments or in live chat. I'm always up for suggestions. And while I have quite a few beers in my fridge right now, I won't forever. So I'll always take tips, especially if you're in my area and can recommend a beer I can actually get my hands on. Yeah, so I can definitely tell this is not the freshest beer, but it's still really good. Just you can see the head went away pretty quick. The carbonation is pretty minimal. It's a pretty light body, which is fine with me. It's a good pale ale. It really is. Oh gosh, I'm not going to listen to Trapped, although I did like that Power Trip is getting antagonistic with them on Twitter. I think that's what, I think that's just wonderful. And seeing from Tom Campana, Killian's Red, I haven't had that in a while, but that's great. And Malacarpagin, oh my God, I love the new one. It always takes me a while with him, not because I instantly get into it, but it takes a while just to decipher all these days, but when I'm walking around, it's a great walking album. And yeah, St. Patrick's Day did make a lot of extra beer, I guess. I didn't go out for St. Pat's, obviously. But we had Irish soda bread for breakfast, which was nice. And I'm seeing from Vincent, got a couple 4-packs from a cool local brewery. Blackberry IPA. That sounds really good. I like interesting experiments, even if they don't turn out wonderfully. I think I think an experiment is worth doing, and if you do it poorly the first time, you'll do it better the next time. That said, maybe was it the habanero sculpin I didn't love so much? Although I like the grapefruit one a lot. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people made corned beef for St. Patrick's Day. Don't do meat in this house, so that didn't happen here, but I have fond memories of it from years past. Yeah. I totally do. I didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day until midway through that day. Just because time is weird right now. Like everything is weird right now. I'm just forgetting everything left and right. I think is anybody else having that? Like, is time distortion happening for you? I mean, it's for me. It's been about a year being on disability, so like I often don't know what day of the week it is, but especially now that everybody's in this, it's like Monday is Saturday, is Thursday, is Friday. It's all the same. I know I was talking about that with my friend Shane Mathis, I believe his last name is Metal Shane. Just about like it doesn't take long at all before kind of some of the more constructed norms kind of drop away. So that's been an interesting thing. It's like noticing everybody having, we're on monkey time. And monkey. Oh, I think I know. I have an idea who that is. I don't know who's telling me monkey time, but I appreciate that. If that's Roger, you're killing me. No, it's these are weird times. I guess if I'd been thinking about this properly, I would have pulled out the Chameleon Strange Times album, but we'll be doing this every day for the foreseeable future, or at least I will. I think that, the 6 to 10 people that tune into this now, it will drop to like 3 in a few days, but it's, that's fine. It's just nice to have some company while I sit and do this, because I think, it's good for us to interact with people beyond those we live with. This is because we do. Chris Bright has joined. Hello, Chris. At some point in this, we're going to be playing some of Chris's music. Not today, because I don't think you guys want to watch me play multiple albums in a row and drink multiple drinks. But Chris has many projects that I enjoy. Got Gloga, Korean Jade. I don't know how to say it, Ico or Eco 93. Just really, really good, beautiful stuff. So one of these days we're going to get more into the synth and post-punk stuff. Today we're still in that kind of like middle ground where it's like this is heavy, but it's not outright metal. So I thought, again, for those who weren't here in the first minute, just a nice change of pace from yesterday's black metal. And I need to also mention that Chris Bright has a podcast called No Fun, or Zero Fun, which I'm opposed to. I think we should have all the fun. But I will tolerate those views because I love Chris. And I love all of you, to be fair. I think that I've encountered very few people doing this who I didn't like. I don't know if that's because I'm very dog-like and I just love people, or if that means you're all actually great. I'd like to think it's the latter, but I also realize that I'm just very easily pleased by people. I like people. Which is why it's weird to be in, even though I like going out. I like being in. It's different now. Lots of space. Like I feel like I remember watching this band live, Blake on stage, wearing kind of. It was. I've never been to a proper funeral in the like traditional religious sense. I don't know. He was wearing something that was kind of like what I imagine a funeral veil to be like. It was like a wedding veil but black. Just kind of stalking the stage slowly with his just deep voice, even though he's not a big guy. He's just nailing those low notes that I could never imagine doing myself. It's really cool. I think at least some of you have seen this. I know a couple of people who may not be watching right now, but a couple of people who interact with me through this, I've seen this band live with me. Big thanks to Nate Myers, from Eternal Warfare for bringing these guys out for their festival in Portland in 2016. Because that was like the coolest thing. It was like to have these guys in Vilcassis open one day. It was like, holy shit. I'll have to play Vilcassis for one of these things if, that would be cool. They're good too. If you don't know them, you should. I don't know, like, does anybody know anything else that sounds like this? Like, it's not country or Americana, but it's not, and it's not metal, but it's heavy and dark. These guys in Vilcassis played same day too in Portland that year, but I don't know if Vilcassis followed on the rest of Mortuary's tour or if there was that time. I'm terrible at timing. But that was just crazy in general. I want to say it was like those bands in Blood Incantation before they were what they are now. Like they were still a band of note, but they were not the way they are now, which is always a plus when it's both. And yeah, it is very much like Firewalk With Me soundtrack. Like this it's very David Lynch to me. Like it just feels like empty roads and I don't know, weird shit happening in reverse and all that. But it's just me. I realize I should talk about the beer a little more, but it's just a really good pale ale. I don't have as much to say about it as I would have thought, but I'm enjoying it all the same. And Threes is just a great local brewery in general. I've had a few from them, and if you're anywhere near Brooklyn, you should get some too. I don't know if it's an option today. I know some breweries are open for pickup of beer and some are not. If you feel safe doing it and need some beer, pick up a local if you can. I know that plenty of big brand beers are available in stores, but support people who are blood, sweat, and tears. Don't support people who are just greedy corporations. If you can. I realize not everybody lives somewhere where they have great access to craft beer, and that's fine too. I'm being told now in the live comments that there's a Stone Cold Steve Austin Broken Skull IPA. I don't know what to make of that. I hope it's good. That sounds fake, but nothing surprises me anymore. I think every band on Earth has a beer at this point. Oh no, I'm making somebody's wife mad with this music. Sorry, Bob. Would she prefer more aggressive metal? Like what does your wife like? I realize it's interesting. Like I think I'm lucky in that I'm in a relationship with somebody who's really musically cool with most of what I like. And if she isn't, she'll just go do her own thing. But oh my God, I don't know if trap would do anything that would be cool. And they could try and it'd still be bad. So apparently I have to find the Stone Cold Steve Austin beer. I didn't grow up on wrestling, but I feel like a lot of my friends did. And it wasn't because it was fake or anything. It was just because it was usually pay-per-view. And by the time I was old enough to where I could have had my own interest in it, it was just the lore was too dense and interwoven, and I just had no concept. Power Metal and Arch Enemy. I was really into Arch Enemy when I was a teenager. So what we're seeing, our friend Bob has commented that his wife is more into Power Metal and Arch Enemy. I don't know if this, maybe the live chat will show up when you're watching it after the fact too. Maybe I'm giving context that doesn't need to be given. But I was really into Arch Enemy. I mean, that was 2002. The first couple albums with Angela on vocals were great, and the stuff with Johan was as well. I haven't kept up. I know they have a new singer now. I'm sure they're also good. But in power metal, like I really liked Into Eternity for a while. I never got into as much power metal. Although I'm open to it. I like a lot of trad heavy metal, shit like Manila Road and obviously like Maiden Priest, all that inspires power metal. But I feel like what was the Arch Enemy that I really liked? It was Wages of Sin or Wage of Sin. They had some great riffs. I'm saying the newer Arch Enemy singer is a horrible person, but she's got pipes. I feel like there's a lot of people like a lot of good musicians kind of suck ass as people. I mean, who among us doesn't have some problematic faves, I guess. Oh man, I'm glad that we got soothing music for your 15-month-old Bob. We got, yeah. I wonder, I wish there was a way of like having like a broader group in this almost like. What is it like to have a kid while this is going on? Like, because for me, there's 2 adults in this house and there's not as much risk, although our neighbors are older and I do worry about them. Tell me how you're doing in your own lives with this. How's it affecting you? I know here in New York, it's really different because we're crowded and everything's shut down. Well, that's not true. Everything's supposed to be shut down. But I realize elsewhere that's not always the case. Ooh. I don't know. Oh, wow. Hello, Irene. Thank you for joining in. Our friend, the Black Metal Pastry Chef, is Irene. I haven't had her baking yet, but it always looks really good. And I received a couple tips on how to bake should I ever decide to do so from her, so thank you. And so, okay, yeah. And so our friend Chris is playing more video games and drinking more. I've heard that, and you're in Texas. Texas hasn't really taken any precautions, have they? Like for the general public safety. I know Texans themselves can make their own decisions, but like there are no mandated business closures or anything, are there? Whereas here, I think restaurants can only do takeout and delivery. And there's talk of perhaps shelter in place going down. Oh, bars and restaurants are closed in Texas. Are restaurants doing takeout in Texas too? Because I know that's what it is here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm glad to see more of that. I heard a while ago that wasn't the case, but everybody needs to take this more seriously than they are. I know a lot of people in other places. Like some of my friends in Florida were at Ready Fest over the weekend, and I just can't imagine going to a Renaissance fair where like one of my friends was doing like feats of strength with other people, like strongman stuff, and I'm like, why on earth would you do that? Like, it sounds super fun, but like, oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, you gotta ask an Uber driver to buy the new gym. That's like a good idea, to be fair. I'm seeing Virginia Beach, a lot of shut down. Working from home would be great. And if your wife is a nurse, Bob, I hope that she's being taken care of well by, her employer. And you when you're able. I know that with a kid you're both working full time in one way or another. But oh my gosh, big love to everybody working in healthcare right now. And I guess that includes Chris Bright, who's watching this, and his wife. Yeah, seeing that this is a really scary time financially, but I'm just making the most of it. I never had a skill that was for the greater good, but it's just nice to see a strong sense of community and people really helping each other out. Like, that means the world to me. I don't know, I reached out to my doctor today to see, I have to get treatment again in 13 days is my next treatment. And I said, hey, should I even be coming to the hospital? And he said, yeah, keep coming. We're screening everybody that comes in. I don't know if that's them just asking you questions on the survey or what, but I know that they're an overhaul in a way that I can't fathom. And it's really, I know that they're better paid than I've ever been, but still not well paid enough for what they do, especially right now when the fate of, I'm not going to say the fate of humanity, but maybe the fate of humanity is hinging on healthcare professionals to look out for us. You guys in grocery workers are like the ones keeping everything running. And maybe the people keeping the internet on, because if the internet wasn't here with this, like, I was thinking about that, like, if this had happened 30 years ago and we didn't have as many ways to connect with everybody in our life, it would have been so different. It would have been, I think, scarier, and I don't know if people would have taken it more or less seriously, but I think having the ability to like check in on each other from a distance like this and just communicate rapidly and easily, it's been a saving grace for me at least. But yeah, now I'm wondering, like, so I'm seeing, talk about getting Uber drivers to pick things up. Like, are any of you still like getting delivery food or like stepping out for things that are not absolutely essential to your survival? And what is essential enough? Like, are you doing booze runs or, like, I like what is worth it to you right now, I guess, is my question. There's no judgment here. I'm just curious. Like, what are we leaving the house for? Like, for me, it's like, ooh, that's interesting. I'm seeing, so in Texas, local grocery stores are only letting a small amount of people in at once. I'm seeing leaving the house for groceries, and we were going to the coffee shop until a few days ago. I haven't had caffeine in over a year, but being sick and at home, I've been picking up coffee every day for Autumn, my girlfriend. And now we're not even doing that. I love the social distance meat exchange. Like, that's, I mean, the other day, like, right before we kind of locked ourselves up inside, we did like a big grocery run. We're going into the bodega, and some woman's coming out of the bodega, and right as we go, and she's talking to like her boyfriend or whoever's with her, and she's like, everybody needs to call their dealer right now. And I'm just like, yeah. I do not condone drug use. Don't do it unless you do, and then it's not for me to stop you. You're a responsible adult human being, making your own choices like a good adult. Yeah. So here we are. Big, spacious music. Not so big, not so spacious beer. Plenty of space between me and the nearest human beings, because that's what social distancing is about. But I'm here with you, and you're here with me, and I'm glad that we're here. Yeah, this swelling, this like, I think that's like, it's got all like the trademarks of classic heavy metal without actually being a metal album in any way. And I love that. Like that big, just. I'm a sucker for bells in a song for one. This totally captures that feeling of like Earth albums and stuff. This is like, you know, it's like funereal without being so sad. Oh, gosh, I don't know what it is, but it's weird to do a stream with than some of the extreme metal stuff, because like you try talking over that, and it just like good luck hearing everything, I guess. Yeah, there's a big similarity there. We've got a comment saying that this reminds of Bees Made Honey in the Lion's Skull by Earth, which is a gorgeous album. Not in a dismissive way, but I used to fall asleep to that a lot. It's a really good one just for a peaceful state of mind. Earth has a lot of that. And some of their stuff is not good for a peaceful state of mind at all. But that album I find to be really grounding and comforting, which I think grounding is the word we're using to describe this, at least for me. I'm coming back to something I started doing started doing these videos 6 years ago when I first moved to Portland, which is crazy. And then I kind of trailed off on them once I moved here. So I only did it really regularly for about 2.5 years. And then I spent the last 3 years and change doing very few, which is changing, obviously. I think I've done more in the last 2 days than I have in the year prior. Oops. Also writing again. I don't know if any of you are writers. Some of you are writers, and I know that, but how do you articulate a thought? Whereas when I'm doing this, it's like, well, I'm speaking. I don't have a choice. I can't go back and edit or decide it's not good enough. I already put it out there. Oh gosh, is that Diplodocus that we're talking about? Somebody's talking about prehistoric dungeons and yeah, there's one I know about that's dinosaur themed. It's called Diplodocus. I want to say it's Slow and Heavy is the album, which is surprisingly good. Dungeon synth is always my jam. I'm always into some dungeon synth. Like I like albums that kind of can serve as like focus listens, but also background music, and I think dungeon synth is great for that. One of my friends shared with me or he posted on Facebook, but I, of course, saw it. So he did share it with me, I guess, by sharing it with everybody. This video game that has a dungeon synth soundtrack, and it's called The Longing. I guess the game takes 400 days to play. It's not like a game so much as like you're just like a little kind of shade waiting for your king to come back from a 400-day slumber. And you're just kind of puttering around an empty kingdom while these dungeon synth songs play and figuring shit out. It's very slow, but like I downloaded it because what else am I gonna do? Maybe I've got 400 days inside to wait. Who knows? But it seems interesting and very much in the sort of focused, patient space that I think a lot of us are finding ourselves in as we realize we have a lot of time to kill. Yeah. And if any of you have any recommendations for music in general that are on Bandcamp, tomorrow, or depending on when you're watching this, I guess March 20th, 2020, Bandcamp.com is waiving all their revenue share fees for artists. So tomorrow's a really good day to buy something on Bandcamp if you want the artist to get all the money, which artists are usually really poor people. So do so. Send links to me on Twitter. My @ is Black Metal Brews. Most of you have found me through that, but some of you follow me on other sites, I guess. Send me it on Twitter or in an email, blackmetalbrews@gmail.com, and I will make sure to signal boost so that we can get as many artists as much help as we can during these times that are kind of lean for all of us. Like I'm thinking of as many as I can. And if you know any labels that are sharing their revenue with the artists rather than keeping it for themselves, let me know. Because I want, nothing against labels that are taking their cut, but I'd rather see it go 100% to the artists. Yeah. We got just a few minutes left together because when this Sargent House is waiving their cut. So Sargent House is one, and they got a lot of great artists. I never know who's on Sargent House as a label and who uses them for management, so I'll have to look more closely into that. Because I know they do like artist services and have a label. Like a lot of their artists are on like I know Death Heaven is on Death Wish, and Lingua Nota's on Profound Lore, and like a bunch of others are on other labels. But that's good to know. I appreciate that. But yeah. I've got just a couple minutes before this album ends. I'll probably cut the live stream because I can't imagine anybody watching me for this long as it is. Thank you to those who've stuck around. And, it's just good to have the hangout. I know that there's also other people doing live things. Saturday night, my friend Tom, who has a band called Planning for Burial, it's a one-man band. He's doing a live stream Saturday night. Uh, shouldn't interfere with mine. If it does, I'll reschedule mine. I think he's doing his at like 8 or 9 though. He's doing an acoustic set from home. So I'll leave a link to that Facebook event or whatever in the comments on this, because that's going to be really cool. And he's a really nice guy. He was supposed to play a show here in Brooklyn on Saturday, but obviously that's not happening. Uh, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of cool live streaming music happening right now. My friend Vern has been doing a bunch on the internet. She keeps doing them too, and she's doing like she was streaming a Bernie Sanders rally and then uh, uh, doing stuff. Or no, she streamed a debate, but I know she's a Bernie person. Pygmy Lush, Chris from Pygmy Lush was doing a solo set on Instagram Live. Like, it's been really cool. So there's a lot of things that I'll be sharing links to for more of this kind of human connection. And if any of you do anything, send it to me. Like, this isn't about me. I want to connect with you. As some of you know, here's where I get self-promotional. Sorry. I relaunched my Patreon account because I am broke. And I'm, if you've got $1 or $2 to give me a month, I won't say no. I'm trying to share something and make this worthwhile. If you don't, there's nothing on there that is behind a pay gate, so you don't have to. It's more of just a way of me saying, like, hey, I'm sharing stuff with you. If you want to share back, that's cool, and if not, that's fine. The purpose of sharing isn't to get something in return. So, with that, I'm Ben. You're you. Thanks for being here for Black Metal and Brews. I'll be seeing you all tomorrow. Cheers.